Welcome, Barbara. You're talking to Mary Lotus of StreetCherub. As a brief meet and greet and introduce yourself. The show is called On the Coach. So, about yourself, what's your company that you
My company is called Jenni, and we're a financial services company. We believe that we need to educate families on finances. Because if people understand finances, they can make informed decisions for themselves. So we provide families with a free financial game plan that looks at where they are financially and where they need to get to. And then we'll help them to fill that journey in by looking at where they are, what some of the monies they're leaking, how they can recoup some of those money and start putting strategic planning in place for them and their family's future. So that's what Jenni as a company is about.
So it's a company about personal finance.
Absolutely.
That's basically about personal finance.
Yes. We also look at the other areas that we look at that will kind of involve some of their business lives as well. But initially we find that if people's personal finances are better, then it ultimately translates into their business life as well. And so if we get the personal bit right, then hopefully the business bit will get better as well.
So what kind of reach do you have? What kind of clients? Do you have like corporate or individual families?
We do families, and we do people who haven't got kids, but families as a whole. So we generally looking at people, people who's got a spouse or, a partner, not necessarily married, people with children, people who've got a mortgage, people who've got debts. Pretty much any person who's working, we want to look at how we can help them to look at where they're at and how to make better plans for the future financially.
So basically, with personal finance, you mentioned something that most people can start from where they are, because people do have money.
Absolutely.
It's just that lack of planning or lack of control or lack of awareness.
Yes.
And then they're spilling the pennies.
Yes.
And it amounts to the pounds.
Yes.
You mentioned something like the rule of 72.
Yes.
Tell us a bit more.
The rule of 72 is a formula that tells you how long it takes for money to double when you put it away, or how long it takes for you to owe somebody money at a given rate of interest. It is known as the old banking principle. And what it looks at is, if you take whatever interest rate you're getting, if you divide 72 by that interest rate, whatever the answer is, that's how long it will take for your money to double. So if you had £100 you go in the bank, and the bank said we'll give you 2%, 72 divided by 2 is 36. It would take 36 years for that £100 to become 200. Yeah. By the same token, if you have a credit card at 24%, 72 divided by 24 is 3. After 3 years, you'll owe double what you owed in year 1.
So basically, if you look at a young family and they've taken on a mortgage, what would you advise them to think about so they don't reach a stage where some people find that the mortgage is no longer tenable, they want to have kids and all that? What could they do from the beginning? Think about what products could they do to put a little bit aside for the future.
I think one of the biggest things, and I learned this from my coach and mentor, and if I knew this back then when I was buying my house, we take on a mortgage and we save our deposit, for example. So we'll say, okay, we need 20,000, so we save 20,000, we go out and we get a property. Now that in itself is wrong. Every time if you have £20,000, in fact all you have is only 10, because you need to keep £10,000 as your reserve. So every pound that you put aside towards your mortgage deposit, you need to keep a pound in your savings or investment, so you always have a balance. But that's not what people do. People tend to save their deposit and go straight out and buy a property.
And use something totally for whatever they save without a backup plan.
Exactly. And so what you find is that you had some money today, and tomorrow you're negative because you owe the mortgage company, you don't like the bathroom, you don't like the carpet, you want to change everything, and then you're saying, and their kids come along, and you have all these things. And I think that's one of the biggest challenges that we face right now, is the fact that people use every penny towards their deposit and leave nothing in their savings account. And that's the first thing they should ultimately look at before they decide to even get a property.
Would you find that there's different, obviously, the black community especially, they are not, if you look at the rich list or something, we're lagging behind, corporate we're lagging behind. So do you think empowerment comes from the control of your finances? However, whatever you're at, whether you're a carpenter, whether you're a builder, whether you're a teacher, a mother, everybody needs to be financially aware. And often people think in the community, it's not for me, it's for somebody well off to have either an accountant or a mentor financially, which you happen to be. So what would you tell people out there that these products are not for others.
Yes, it is.
You're not outside.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people fail to realize is that everybody is ignorant in some areas of their lives. And so, as you mentioned, a carpenter, you'd be a great carpenter, but there are other areas that you might not be good at, and those are the areas that, you know, it's like singing. I can't sing, and so I know even with training, I'm about a 2 in singing. If with training, I might be a 4. But what you're good at, you work in those areas. So you build on your skills as a carpenter and get someone to deal with all the areas that you're not good at. And then it works better. I was listening to Rabbi Lapin last year when he was in the UK, and he said God created specialization so we would end up needing each other. But everybody want to do everything themselves, which is wrong. You don't know everything. So you get somebody to deal with areas that you don't know about, and then you will be a lot better.
Because then you don't excel. If you concentrate on what you know, you can excel there.
Absolutely.
And somebody else can then do the best for you where you're not strong and still make you stronger, because then you have that area of your life covered as well.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So it's absolutely affordable, your services. Everybody can.
The financial game plan is completely free. We don't charge our clients anything if we provide a product or service. For example, if we provide a mortgage for a client, if we help them with a mortgage, we don't charge them. The mortgage company pays us. When I do the financial game plan, if somebody needs their life insurance, their business insurance, whatever it is, we don't charge them for that, because the company that we provide the business to will pay us a commission for bringing in that business. So our clients really don't pay anything.
So it really doesn't hurt anybody to come for a consultation.
Absolutely not.
Because then when you venture out to get that mortgage or that insurance or whatever other financial product you want to take on, you go equipped, because often when you arrive at the bank, it's also brief, the appointment and everything. But if you come prepared, as you said, your fee would be included in the overall package from the bank. So the person would have only got good advice from you and explored variants of
options that are available to them. And that's the thing. So somebody with, you know, a bank with Barclays, let me go to Barclays for my mortgage. Barclays might not have the best deal for you. So by the time you've done a credit check with Barclays, and you go down and you do one with NatWest, and you've done 10 credit checks, by then because every time you do a credit check on your files, it leaves a footprint on your file, and it stays there. So you might get declined or something. You go to another bank, you're definitely not going to get it, because it leaves a footprint on your file that you've been declined somewhere.
So it's really best, first of all, to get advice and maybe rule by the law of exclusion, rule yourself out from certain products or from certain lenders and go where you're best suited because of your criteria. And that would come from you advising that I think this is the best to target.
Absolutely. I mean, people don't look at their credit files. You can see your credit files free for 30 days online, you know, and people don't look at that, so they don't know where their score is, they don't know what's... And unfortunately, there are things on people's credit files that they don't know. I've seen cases where people have used other people's details fraudulently, and they have things sitting on their credit files that they don't know about.
And it's drawing you back, and you don't know what's happening, and you think, why should I not be getting this loan? So all that advice. Where would people be able to get you? Like you mentioned your website?
It is my website. And also, I mean, my office is based at Black Horse Road at the moment. Currently, I have an office in the Waltham Forest Business Centre, just outside Black Horse Road train station. And that is where I run my Jenni. So I do business overviews where people can come in as well.
So that's a physical address?
Yes, absolutely. And people can come in. We run a business overview on a Tuesday evening at 7:30. We also do one on Saturday at 12 o'clock, so people can get a bit more understanding and feel of what we do and say whether or not they want to sit with us any further. So we also do that. So apart from the one-to-one I do these group sessions that people can come in and say, you know, sound like I need a financial game plan, or I could make an extra income as well. So
Wow, it's wonderful. Lovely hearing your personal story. And at least empowering financial advice that everybody needs to. Lucky people of Waltham stuff, they can pop in. You need something of the sort. From your experience, do you really think more of those services need to go out into the community? Do you do like a tour? Do you do like
Absolutely.
workshops?
I mean, I've got colleagues in other areas across the UK as well. So usually somebody, for example, call me and say to me, I'm in, let's say, Leeds, for example. I would just ring one of my colleagues in Leeds. In fact, one of my first clients that died a few years ago was somebody I got a referral for in Northern Ireland, and naturally I was going to go all the way to Northern Ireland to see him. But one of my colleagues to go and see him, did his financial game plan, did his insurance. 3 weeks later he was diagnosed with cancer. 3 weeks later he was dead. So
people can reach you.
People can reach me.
And you can still get somebody closer
to them to actually sit with them.
So about your book, which I've glanced through, it's really interesting. It has a breakdown. Most, you know, I myself, 2003, you know, the stock exchange, most people don't try to play it, but now People can try if you understand it, not randomly, because people like Warren Buffett tell you you have to know when to buy and when to sell, or even if to buy. But you mentioned stocks and shares there. Do you think this is for the average man? Because people say shares is like something, a mystery. Can an average person get into owning shares?
Yeah, the thing about it is, as you're saying, you know, if it is not your field, don't go invest your £10,000 thinking, gosh, I'm going to make 20, because you got to understand again the law of averages, and you got to be prepared to invest long term and things like that. And one of the things as a company that we've always looked at for our clients is doing what's called managed funds. With managed funds, the money is spread across different funds and different stuff. Yeah, exactly. So you know, it means that even though there are risks involved, you've got
the law of averages, ironing out certain kinks out long term.
And there's something called pound cost averaging, which look at, as you're saying, the lowest point and the highest point, and see where best for clients. And so we have clients who will say, look, I mean, I don't like risk. So they'll know what kind of funds to go into. And later on in September, we'll be running a seminar in September, I'm pretty sure September, I'll get the dates for you, and then people can come in, and we have different speakers talking about different areas of growth in terms of, could be properties, whatever it is, and to be able to see where they can put their money and to get help.
Because it's very important to have ownership of assets, whether that be stocks, property, or anything. Gives you, these things do mature and grow and change.
You need to own something. I think a lot of people only own debts at the moment. That's the only thing they have. And you know, we talk about having £1,000 in your credit card and having or £1,000 in your overdraft and £1,000 sitting in your savings account. And so you owe the bank 1,000, but you got 1,000. All the bank has just done is just lend you your £1,000. So you might as well clear what you owe them
and then try to put aside.
There you go.
So the thing with debt, is there anything ever like positive debt? Like people say, take a credit card. Do you think there is ever any time when you need to have that option of flexibility?
Your mortgage is one of those positive ones, really, that I see that, you know, most people will not have £200,000 to go out and buy a property. But on the other hand, what you do have is the option to buy that asset with somebody else's money, pay them back their money, and see that grow for you as well.
And you can take the difference some years later in life.
Absolutely.
So credit card, is that a no-no? Or
I would say no. If you're able to manage yourself and understand the risk that's coming, because people will take it and say, I will pay it back, and they don't ever pay it back, and then it escalates and it escalates, and the minute you miss 1 month and don't clear it 1 month, you're stuffed. You're stuffed.
So what is your motto in life? Do you have a favorite saying, a favorite mantra?
Failure is not an option.
I love that. You know, I always say, so I don't have plan B's. When I'm doing something, personally, I never consider the chance that it will fail. Because why would it? I believe if you plug away, you know, keep on doing what you're doing, the universe will always build up. Because for every action is a reaction.
Exactly.
And for every energy you put in, every thought you put in, there will be a product out of that. Whatever that is, there will be some kind of seed you sowed will give up some kind of fruit. So failure is never an option. Wow, and that's how you manage.
Yeah, so I manage every day.
I
think people say to me, you know, working for myself, people don't expect to see me in the office every day. I'm in the office every morning. I get up, my daughter goes to school, I get showered, I put my clothes on, I'm in the office suited and booted every morning. And I don't see it as, gosh, I work for myself. I see that I need to be there. Because if I'm not there, this ain't going to work. I need to be there. And whilst I've got team members, I've got loads of people in my team that work with me, do the business that I do part-time, and I've got to supervise them. I don't sit and depend on them to go out and work. I mean, I'm going out and producing income for my daughter every week. So,
Some people would say this is random. You're a spiritual person, a Christian, whatever that means. Nowadays, people can be Christian, spiritual, any other faith. One priest said, because people don't believe that the devil exists, that's exactly why the devil is having free reign. So what's your own thoughts about the need for God or anything in your life? Have you found that as a core?
Absolutely. One of the things I heard a saying once that said, if you don't believe in something, you'll fall for anything. And that's the thing about it. I can't see how this whole universe could just run on its own like that without somebody being in charge of it. And I think the fact that we have free will to make choices, and either we make good or bad choices, and we try and blame it on someone else or on something else. But what I'm saying is,
you're making choices whether you do not know or you know.
Exactly.
So you better know that you're making choices.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I just believe, I mean, I hold on to God, you know, I just hold on so much to Him that I think sometimes I'm thinking, gosh, man, I mean, and I have conversations, I'll be driving and I laugh and I'll say, oh my God, so I'm sure you must be fed up with me now, and you know, but the thing about it is, I just believe, you don't need to...
That there's a higher...
Absolutely.
There's a higher being.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So what would you say to women out there about your own journey? You've managed to be a mother, be self-employed, be working corporate, and still have a lovely daughter. You have only that one child, is it?
Yeah, yes.
A daughter.
Yes.
So how did you manage to multitask like that?
My daughter understands what I do, and I started taking her on appointments with me from she was young, and so she enjoyed. We be going and we get in the car, and I say to her, Correll, and she said, yes, Mommy, I must learn my manners. And we'll get to the house and she'll sit there quietly, or she'll say, is it okay if I watch your telly? And I'll get on with what I'm doing, and she understands. And I think now she enjoys the stuff that I do. You know, we go on holiday, we do all these things, which is a part of it. So yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Barbara. We've been talking to Barbara Anderson, an author, a financial advisor, a CEO, an entrepreneur, a mother, a woman, a wife, everything. But more importantly, get your finances together. Get to Barbara, or seek out anybody next to you. You'll find Barbara on Facebook.
Yes.
And on Twitter?
Yeah, absolutely. And then there's my website, barbaraanderson.net. So feel free to join my mailing list. I'm looking at putting stuff on there that will help people to do better as well in terms of where they're at with their finances. Yeah.